Hi everyone, welcome to Michelin King. Thanks very much for joining me. As you can see, you guys that are participating or watching, you've absolutely decimated the shelves the last couple of days, so thank you very much. That was a really good effort. So the guys are just in the background, pouring and labelling and stuff like that, so I thought we'd take, hi Stephen, how you doing? Thought I'd take an opportunity just to do a video over the best, or covering the best car waxes for winter. So we've got quite a few here, ranging in price as well, so they start right down at $14.99 and then you're going all the way through to the higher end waxes such as Ultra. Now what I would say is we've got a wax here for every budget. We've got a wax here, especially gifts, you know, Christmas time. You tend to find people that are gifting detailing products, unless they're really sure of what they're buying, they might not opt, even though you want the Ultra, they might not opt for the Ultra, just in case it's their own wax. It's, you know, as a fair whack of money to spend on a wax, so as a gift. So this is why I've got a variety of waxes. So let's get into it. So first up, let's start at the $14.99 end. So $14.99, that would buy you 50 millilitres of this wax, Alpine. So Alpine, as you can see here, natural colour. The nice thing about winter waxes is most of these waxes have been made either in winter time or in the lead up to winter. And what that means for you guys is they've been tested in winter. It always amazes me when you're out testing waxes summertime for a winter product. The two don't go hand in hand, especially not in the UK. The weather is quite severe. As you can see, I'm already layered up here up in Scotland, so we are now down at averaging about 5 degrees Celsius. All of these waxes will work in 5 degrees, all of them will work easily in 5 degrees. That is one of the... I had an interesting conversation with one of our distributors yesterday, and they're being introduced to you know, what's the difference between a summer car wax and a winter car wax. The first thing that you might think is durability, which to an extent, you know, you can make a summer car wax last longer than it will in winter. But the most important thing in winter, also in summer, is usability. How easy is that wax to use in the particular season that it's been designed for? And that's why we have waxes for specific seasons, such as, let's look at this, we have a range of waxes called the Solstice and Equinox Collection. So these waxes basically hit every different season. So we've got December here, and that'll carry you all the way through to March. So if you're somebody like myself who likes to have the right product for the right job, the Solstice and Equinox waxes are phenomenal because it takes all of the guessing work out of it. We're just about to put the kit together for this. So when you hit March, you start using the March wax. Once you get into June, you swap over to June. You've got the September Solstice, you then go on to that, and then arrive finally back at December again. So every time, and it actually falls in with our mantra here, is try and do a heavy decontamination of the car at least every 3 to 4 months. And this, you know, it's a perfect kit. Decontaminate the car, seal the paintwork, wax the paintwork, move on. And obviously in between that you can play about with different waxes, but it just gives you a really good base. So this is why I really like the Solstice and Equinox, because especially at this time of year, it's quite difficult to use certain waxes. They do become more difficult to use, but because the majority of these waxes are high natural oils, they're not affected by the cold weather. solvents are quite heavily affected by cold weather, whereas these oils are just as easy to use. Excuse me, in the summer as they are in the winter. Your fingers might be a bit colder, but that's all. So, covered a few there. We've got the Alpine and the December out the way. Now, let's look at, let's take a look at our hybrid waxes. Now, a hybrid wax, what I call a hybrid wax is anything that has, so you've got your normal waxes, your Kunibas, your paraffins, your beeswax. A hybrid wax to me is something that we add in that's different. It might be a man-made wax, it might be a natural wax. So that's why we would call these our hybrid waxes. Now, Armour was our third wax that we brought out. So we brought out Rannoch, Philip, then Armour, then Elegance. Armour's been with us a long time, but it's changed quite considerably over the years. So when it first came out, it wasn't a natural based product, whereas now it is. It's natural based. You've got lots of nice oils in there. You want to think of your paintwork going through winter that it dries out with the salt, and this type of thing is your moisturising cream, so it stops the paint from getting too brittle. And that's what it's all about. You'll see cars at shows that are, 25 years old, never had a respray, but the paint looks better than a neighbour's that's 8 years old. The difference is the products that they're using, and the biggest difference you can make is by using a high quality product. So something like Armour will easily last you 6 months. That'll give you a good 6 months durability. As it says on the jar, ultimate protective wax. That's its job. The thing I would say about Armour, which is a really pleasant side effect of the ingredients, it's really high gloss. So if you go onto the website, you'll see this. I've got a client in the States, has a lovely big red truck, and this thing has gloss on it like nothing on earth, and that is Armour. So yeah, don't discount a wax because it's a winter wax. We don't have to, because we know these waxes inside out, we know the ingredients that work, we don't have to circumnavigate longevity, gloss, all these things. You can get the best of both worlds, and people will easily have Armour lasting longer than the 6 months. If you're for instance to keep your car in a garage, it will obviously last longer, depending on the shampoo that's used, the frequency of wash, all of these things, your wash tools, that's why I would say always try and get the best you can in terms of wash tools and cloths. Some microfibers are rougher than others, so you just want to keep them as soft and as damage free as possible. That brings us on to Fortitude. Fortitude is another hybrid wax, coming down in the price bracket for this one, so $39.99 for a 50ml, and you're $185. Remember you're 20% off just now, but you're $185 for the 200ml. Excuse me. The difference with the Fortitude would be not only the price, the longevity comes back ever so slightly, so you're about 4 to 5 months. Cost of ingredients come down as well, but overall the wax is exceptionally good. Again, one that you can use, irrespective of the temperature. This now brings us into, in fact, Caledonia. That's another. This is an extremely underrated wax. Caledonia, we have 3 variants of Caledonia. Now, Caledonia is made from solvent that isn't in any of the other waxes that we make. So the solvent that we use in this, it's not kerosene or anything like that, it's natural. Is solely used in Caledonia, and it is phenomenal. If you've not tried Caledonia, this is definitely one we have. We've a few 50mls left in the shelves, and we've got a few 200mls. I think just because I've been giving it more airtime, it's certainly, hello Radu, how are you? Long time no see. So it's definitely gaining popularity. It's the bridge between your Fortitudes and going up to Armour. basically, so it's right bang in the middle, but the big difference is that that carrier oil, so it's totally different to anything else. That's why if you're an enthusiast, if you love your car, Caledonia, give it a go. You'll be amazed by it. It's a phenomenal wax. So that brings us on to the remaining three. It's just popped up. These haven't been put aside for any reason other than we covered the other five first. So let's start right at the very top. So Ultra. Ultra was originally made for both extreme temperatures, so whether that's high or low, and also high UV protection. Now, in winter time, remember, the UV's still there, just because it's not burning your skin, so to speak. So again, UV protection. The other thing that Ultra is very good at is retaining or reducing the possibility of the paint becoming brittle in the future. Now, what I would say is just keep on top of the regime. I would typically look to wax maybe every 3 to 4 months. Even if I've got a wax that lasts 6 months, I would always look to remove that. The main reason is tar stains the paint, bird lime can degrade the paint as well. So you really want iron fallout. You don't want any of that stuff to start penetrating and rusting through the clear coat. Remember, hot iron deposits attach themselves to the clear coat. If they are hot, for instance, hot iron deposit will melt that top section of the clear coat. And how that works is it will embed itself much like a scalp in your finger, a splinter. It will start to rust and it can discolour the clear coat round about. So if you've got a white car and you've got these brown spots, aside from one of the funny things that you do get in the summer is bee fallout. So you'll actually get bee excrement on the paintwork, which can be mistaken for iron fallout. So again, these are all things that you want off the paintwork. You don't really want a car to be sitting for 6 months, because there's nothing to say that iron fallout didn't fall on the second day of the car being waxed. Now, it just depends how far you want to take the detailing side of things. If you've got a garage show car queen, you want to stay on top of that paint. You're probably the same, as I've been with secondary cars. The car gets waxed. I was at a point actually with an MG that I owned some years ago. I would wax that with, I think it was March Equinox that I used on that. I would use March Equinox nearly every other week. For two reasons. The car was small, so it was just as easy for me, pretty much, to quick detail it as it was to wax. Now you will get with wax, you'll get diminishing returns, but the beauty of the Michelin King range of waxes, you will get a proper second layer. So very much like if you paint the wall, for instance, if you're using, you will get a proper second layer. The downside of very heavy solvent waxes, they will degrade the first layer quite considerably. Now, it is something that I would like to look into in the future, just to see how much wax we're actually adding every time. But I can tell you this, the MG, once we got 3 or 4 months into it, hardly anything would stick to the paint, aside from your hot tar deposits or iron fallout, that type of thing. It was so easy to wash. The water would just sheet right off because of the level of protection that was there. So if you've got the time, try it. It's quite incredible, the difference that 3 and 4 layers make versus the original 2 that most of us are able to do, or common practice. Next one, Paisley. So Paisley is a commemorative wax for our new factory warehouse, or office warehouse. Office is up the stairs, factory down the stairs. Upstairs for thinking, downstairs for dancing, as they say. So Paisley's a great wax, very easy to remove, quick curing time, exactly what you want at this time of year. You don't want to be sitting out there for half an hour, 40 minutes. The other thing we've got to watch, especially in Scotland, rain. You can go out, the skies are blue within 10 minutes. Obviously being an island and a relatively small island, you've got weather systems coming in from all fronts. It's if you've ever flown either from the States to the UK or UK to the States in winter time over the Atlantic Ocean, if you come down to land, especially in JFK, the landing is the approach is extremely bumpy. Now, it's just the weather systems that you're experiencing, because one of the things that we forget is how far north we actually are. And again, that comes back to the same thing. We have lots of customers asking from all over the world, will this wax work in my climate? And the thing I say is, if it will work in the west of Scotland, this wax will work anywhere, because we have whoever rules our climate here is one of the most indecisive people that I've ever met, because you can get 4 seasons in a day quite easily here. So that's where Paisley comes in. Paisley was made quite recently, so again, it will fit into the winter scheme of things quite well, and it will even carry you through into spring. So it's a well-rounded. It's the only jar that we offer that we use the copper on, so it's a great wax all in. Nice colour as well, nice and natural. Yeah, definitely. We've got sold out to 50 mils just now, but we do have 200 mils, and obviously it's 20% off, so it comes in just over £100. And we ship most places for free, over 100 anyway, so you're not, there's no unexpected. The only thing to watch out for is obviously the tariffs, but we do have a new distributor in Europe who they're handling most of the countries that we originally shipped to, obviously to help you out with the tariff side of things. So last up, I've left this for absolute last, because this is a wax that I really like. It was one of the first waxes that we made when we moved over to we had a place that sits basically between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Then we moved back to Glasgow, and then we moved over to Paisley. And it's just as the company's getting bigger and bigger, we're now in a position where we are a lot bigger than we were even 2 years ago now. The warehouse we're working out of is at least 3 times the size where we were before. So thank you very much for the order. Just seeing it coming through in the phone there. That's very kind of you. The phone's too far away to see names. The writing's very tiny, so I apologise if I'm missing anybody. So last one, Parma. If you want a wax that makes your paintwork feel silky soft, gives you great beading, exceptionally smooth to put on, buttery soft to remove, Parma. So we're very low on Parma. It's a wax that really outplays a lot of the competition round about it. Even within our own range, it really holds its own, even going up to the likes of your Caledonia, that type of range. And again, it's down to the ingredients. The ingredient that we use in this, you'll see the colour here, slightly darker in colour. The oil that we use is a slightly darker oil, but the wax itself is exceptionally good. It's a really, really good wax. So obviously I've just picked up the 200 mils, they're a wee bit easier to hold when we're doing the camera work here, but they're all available in the 50s as well. And certainly just to round things up, we've got a wide range of liquids to go with the products, accessories. The machine polishers will be going back on today. We've got about 14 left in stock, so I know they're very popular for Christmas presents. So I doubt very much we'll have them, into the new year. So definitely have a look at the site. There's 8 great waxes to look at. we'll upload this to our various social media channels as well, so that you don't miss out. Any questions, leave them below, whatever platform you're seeing it on. Leave any questions below, send me an email, online chat, phone, whatever you need. Thank you very much, take care, bye bye.